He's the mantid in charge of all mantids, and he's about 12 feet tall, and he has a throne, and he has 2 reptilian bodyguards. I accept you into the family, that's what he says. It said it was preordained that I would accept you, but the task is not fully known. If the task fails, all is lost.
Yes.
That's what they've said to me. You exist in 2 worlds, and your genetic material is able to survive in our world. We have been able to take your soul out of your body, put it in one of ours. Therefore, we wish to make hybrids of your genetic material because they will last longer on the earth. Because up till very recently, hybrids don't last, they just don't last long. It isn't that the body degenerates, their minds go.
Oh, is that
Hybrids'
right?
minds go, yes.
Ah, interesting.
We would call it insanity, but that's what will happen to them. I'm collected by a creature, this one here, and passed on to another creature, and as we approach, we're underground, we're under a cave, it's really hot, and the creature that I'm with says, do you see this great lord approaching you? Do you know who that is? And I say, yes, of course, that's Daddy. And he says, then go and greet him. But this creature actually gets down on and prostrates himself absolutely flat to this one and says, I have brought the one, my lord. And then I go up to him and say, hello, Daddy. And he says to me, you who call me father. And it sounds really awful because it's like, oh my God, he's going to turn on me. And he says, for you are my son. I created you. I made you is the word he uses. And I say, are you happy, Daddy? And he says, I am pleased. And I say, it's really hot here. And he says, I go into a tank and I come out and I'm really cool. And he says, the effects of this will last many hours. And I say to him, will you hold my hand, Daddy, although it's very cool? He says, yeah, I can hold your hand because I know he's hot. And if he doesn't like cold, and if so he's fine, he holds my hand. It's very unpleasant, this bit, I will tell you. And again, I go into a room and it's a dentist's chair and it's a circular room. And I say, who commands here? And he says, whoever sits in the chair.
It's very similar
I
to
can
what
bring
others...
up images of my mind. That's what happens. And he says to me, what would you like? Just says to me, what would you like? And I say, what can I have? And he says, what about a pretty young female? So I say, oh yes, please. Can I have a pretty young female like Prickles? That's the nickname. That's the one that come to get me. She's a lion person, but she's a reptilian lion. She says to me when she arrives, I am a servant of the reptile race. And her name is Zuka La La La. That's her name, Zuka La La La. That's her real name. The Zuga is her original lion name, but when she defected to the reptile race, they added the La 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 to it. So her name incorporates the fact that she has been subverted from one race to another. And this isn't her body, this is just a costume. This isn't part of her body, it's just but it's to represent the wings of a Alpha Draconis, of a reptile. And this is just a mask that she wears over her face. It's just a mask. So she could take all that off, it's just like a uniform. So I'm on this chair and he's offered me this pretty young female and I say, can I have her? Or can I have, this is really funny, or can I have the woman on the Fry's Turkish Delight advert that's on television? And he says... As a 6-year-old boy? Yes, yeah. And he says to me, think of her and she is yours. So I imagine her and there she is. And she's there with a veil and everything. She's sitting on me. And without being too crude, he says, do you know what to do with her? And I say, no. He says, well, I'll enter your mind and show you what to do. So without going into horrific detail, have sex with her. It's not real, it's all holographic.
At 6 years old?
Yes. And he is instructing me how to have sex. And he says, the woman, it's awful this, isn't it? The man is there to take, the woman is there to give. And he says, the only reason that woman is put on the earth is to serve and to make replacements. That's the word he uses, make replacements. And then when we've had sex, he says, now father and son have shared a female. He said, would you like to eat her? And I say, no, because I'm only 6 now. I say, no, if she's going to have a baby, and if it grows, I want it to look like me. And he says, no, she is not manifest. She is only in our minds. And he says, would you like to feast on flesh? And I say, no, I don't really want to do that. Why do I have to do that? And he says, you don't have to do it, but if you do it, we will become father and son. And I said, but I thought we were father and son. In our law, that's the reptilian law,